Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with the gut microbiome, and Carrie's going to be leading us through that discussion today, so sit tight.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are talking about the gut microbiome. We are going to learn what actually is the gut microbiome, what it is composed of, what could potentially be harmful to your gut, how to support it and keep yourself healthy, and lastly, the connection between the gut, brain, and your nervous system. So first, what is the gut microbiome? Your body is full of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. They are collectively known as the microbiome. This probably sounds very scientific and you still have no idea what that means. So picture a bustling city on a weekday morning, the sidewalks flooded with people rushing to get to work or to appointments. Now imagine this at a microscopic level and you have an idea of what the microbiome looks like inside of our bodies, consisting of trillions of microorganisms of thousands of different species. The microbiome is even labeled a supporting organ because it plays so many key roles in promoting the smooth daily operations of the human body. While some bacteria are associated with disease, others are actually extremely important for your immune system, heart, weight, and many other aspects of health. The health of our gut microbiome is one of the most important factors determining the appropriateness of our immune system. Being on the front line in one of the few regions of the inner body, being in sorry, just a second. Which one? Immunity isn't always about the fight. Sometimes it's about evaluating if there may be a survival advantage to allowing a foreign microbe into our system. The gut microbiome lives in harmony with millions of other bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Often, not only are these microbes allowed to live inside of us, but their genetic information is transferred to our genome through the actions of the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is at the center of the innate immune response, where it manages the delicate balance between gut repair, threat mitigation, and promoting genomic diversity. It's also important to remember the immune system isn't simply a war machine. It also has important restorative and regenerative functions in our bodies. When our microbiome is suffering, the reparative actions of the immune system are inhibited and the balance is tipped from health to illness by triggering an immune attack upon ourselves, which manifests as chronic disease. As the health of our microbiome suffers and chronic inflammation becomes a smoldering wildfire within our bodies, the cells of the innate immune system, providing the structural barrier to the outside world, degenerates. The gut microbiome begins to affect your body the moment you are born. You are first exposed to microbes when you pass through your mother's birth canal. However, new evidence suggests that babies come in contact with some microbes while still inside the womb. As you grow, your gut microbiome begins to diversify, meaning it starts to contain many different types of microbial species. Higher microbiome diversity is considered good for your health. What makes up the gut? Let's talk about all of the things that are living inside of our guts. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, other microscopic living things, microorganisms, microbes for short. Trillions of these microbes exist mainly inside your intestines and on your skin. There are actually more bacterial cells in our body than human cells, which is pretty crazy to think about. Let's talk more about these microbes that make up our gut. There are roughly 5 million fungi living in our gut, 300,000 species of parasites, which are life-giving to the body and help regulate human function. Billions of different viruses and 1.5 quadrillion bacteria with up to 1,000 different species. So now, what can be harmful for your gut? As we have learned, there are thousands of different types of bacteria in your intestines, most of which benefit your health. However, having too many unhealthy microbes can lead to disease, so let's find out what leads to having unhealthy microbes in our gut. As we already know, stress is not good for our health. Stress is also not good for our gut. Stress hormones attack and break down the tight junctions in the gut lining that holds the cells which line your digestive tract together. When you reduce stress hormones like cortisol, epinephrine through rest and relaxation, eating mindfully, and meditation, these tight junctions can heal. Stress can affect digestion and what nutrients the intestines absorb. Gas production related to nutrient absorption may also increase. Common gastrointestinal symptoms due to stress are heartburn, indigestion, nausea, and vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and associated lower abdominal pain. This gives a more complete picture of the importance of reducing stress in our lives. Animal studies have suggested that psychological stressors can disrupt the microorganisms in the intestines, even if the stress is only short-lived. In humans, a variety of stressors can negatively affect gut health, including psychological stress, environmental stress, such as extreme heat, cold, or noise, sleep deprivation, disruption of the cardiac rhythm. And the next major factor in harming our gut is the use of antibiotics. The use of antibiotics has long been linked to deprivation of gut bacteria due to the general bacterial killing nature of antibiotics. It has been speculated that repetitive use of antibiotics deprives people of a rich gut bacterial environment, and through this leads to adverse health effects. However, it is good that we can regenerate our gut microbiome, which is important for our general health. The concern, however, relates to the potentially permanent loss of beneficial bacteria after multiple exposures to antibiotics during our lifetime. There is evidence that Western populations have a considerably lower diversity of their gut microbiome than native people living in certain parts of Africa and Amazonians. Just as with antibiotic use differs based on where some people live, so does the environment around them. Studies show that geography can have a huge effect on the gut microbiome, whether that be living inland or on a coast. Rural or city life has an effect on your gut. Along with where you live, environmental pollutants have become an increasingly common health hazard in the last several decades. Environmental pollutants, including heavy metals, persistent organic pollutants, nanomaterials, and pesticides, can be detrimental to our gut health. Nanomaterials, also known as nanoparticles, are tiny microscopic materials that modern manufacturers put into our food, cosmetic, and nutritional products. Their role might be to bind ingredients together in a supplement capsule or to make your toothpaste white, and are capable of entering the human body through inhalation, ingestion, or skin penetration. Nanoparticles are a new environmental pollutant and are in some medications, dietary supplements, and cosmetic products. There are concerns about the safety of nanoparticles and how these pollutants compromise gut health. It is possible that nanoparticles can influence our gut microbiome through both oral and non-oral avenues. The main environmental offender against your gut is glyphosate, the main ingredient in the weed killer Roundup. Glyphosate is a water-soluble toxin, which means it passes through the gut lining and can get straight into your blood-brain barrier. That leads us to food. Many of our foods today test positive for glyphosate. Some of the worst offenders are almonds, apples, corn, and cherries. Food additives like emulsifiers are ingredients put into processed foods to prolong shelf life. They have been shown to negatively influence gut microbiome and the integrity of intestinal tissue. Read food labels to learn what's inside these products. Try to eat more fresh whole foods that don't contain these damaging additives. Now that we have learned what harms the gut microbiome, let's discuss how to better support it for optimal health. Some of the things that can harm our gut are out of our control. But the good news is that there are some really easy ways to support your gut so that you can stay healthy. Since your gut microbiome is so sensitive to medication, reconsidering the use of proton pump inhibitors, antacids, and H2 antagonists allow for gut health to flourish. Reducing pollutants such as pesticides, nanomaterials, food additives, and drugs will reduce the environmental impact on your gut microbiome. Eat whole, local, and responsibly grown foods as much as possible. And while you're taking steps to minimize glyphosate exposure, you might also want to consider offsetting some of the potential negative effects of the chemical. That might mean ensuring a good intake of antioxidants, taking probiotics and/or eating probiotic foods regularly, and using herbs and lifestyle changes to support liver health so your body's natural detoxification processes can help get glyphosate out of your system. Be sure to support your body in the best way possible by also consuming adequate amounts of vitamins and minerals. Additional changes to your lifestyle and diet will aid the reduction of primary pollutants that inhibit your healthy gut function. And of course, managing and eliminating stress. Some stress management techniques include meditation, deep breathing exercises, and progressive muscle relaxation. Exercising regularly, sleeping well, and eating a healthful diet can also reduce stress levels. As you can see, the gut plays a major role in human health. So much is still left to be discovered about the gut microbiome, and the last topic I would like to share with you about the relationship to the brain and the nervous system. Everything in the body is connected and cannot be separated. Thankfully, unlike cars, where if your engine breaks down, the car breaks down, human bodies continue to fight for life, and one system will pick up the slack for another to keep you functioning. Trust your gut is more than just a saying. The gut is considered the second brain. It is 2 tennis courts surface area in size, the largest macromembrane in your whole body. Although there are still more neuron connections in the brain than the gut, 90% of the neurotransmitters in the body are produced in the gut lining and not the brain. The brain is fully responsive to the gut. The gut makes everything the brain needs and brings all of the information into the brain. The gut is the largest contact with the outside environment. This macro gut membrane, which is less than half a human hair thick, is the regulator between the outside world and the immune system. The human gut is lined with more than 100 million nerve cells. There is also a lesser known part of our body's nervous system located in our gut. It's called the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system's network of nerves, neurons, neurotransmitters extends along the entire digestive tract, from the esophagus through the stomach and intestines and down to the anus. Because the enteric nervous system relies on the same type of neurons and neurotransmitters that are found in the central nervous system, that is how it got the name our second brain. The second brain in our gut, in communication with the brain in our head, plays a key role in certain diseases in our bodies and in our overall mental health. This crosstalk in communication between the brain and digestive system is opening up new ways to think about diseases. Not only do the gut and the brain communicate through the nervous system, but also through hormones and the immune system. Microorganisms in the gut help regulate the body's immune response. Medical researchers who are studying depressive symptoms, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease, autism, multiple sclerosis, pain, anxiety, and other neuro conditions are beginning to look at what is going on in a person's gut. To sum it up, a healthy gut is synonymous with a healthy brain, healthy immune system, and a healthy life. Are there any questions?
All right, if you have any questions, there's our email addresses on the screen too as well. Otherwise, we will see you next week when we talk about epigenetics in our food environment. So kind of carrying this into next week too as well, just to show you the impact of all different things on our nutrition, not just the food that we eat, but that environment that we live into as well. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email Carrie or myself, and have a good rest of your day.